Hey guys, welcome back. Let's see how we can solve question 113 from the second chapter of the Beer Johnston textbook, Engineering Mechanics. And in this question, in trying to move across a slippery icy surface, we have a 180-pound man uses two ropes of AB and AC, and we know that the force exerted on the man by the icy surface is perpendicular to that surface, and we need to determine the tension in each rope. So if I want to show the forces or the free body diagram on this figure, we basically have two different tensions. We can call this one TAC, this one TAB. We have a normal force perpendicular to the surface. So by normal force, we are talking about the N perpendicular to this surface. So I'm just going to show it in here, our N. And another given that we have in the question is the weight of this man. We can just show it in this direction, which will be acting on negative y-axis when we know it's already 180 pounds. So looking at this, we'll see that we have three different unknowns in this question, which means we need three different equations in order to solve this. And since we are in equilibrium, we have sum of all forces equal to 0. And we are in 3D, we can do one for x, one for y, and one for z. So at the end of this, we'll have three equations, three unknowns. We should be able to find all the unknowns in here, and the question is asking for TAB and TAC. But before that, we need to find each of these forces in vector form. So let's start with the normal force. As I mentioned, if we look at the surface from the point of view of this little guy, we're going to see this right triangle, which has the side of 16 feet. So I'm talking about this right triangle, which we're going to have the same thing in the middle right here too. So the base is 30 feet, and we can find the hypotenuse based on the Pythagorean theorem. Let's do that. So the square root of 16 squared plus 30 squared, that's going to give us 34. And we know that the normal force that we were talking about is the N in here, and we can resolve it into x and y components. So if you want to do that, this will be our x, we can call it nx, and this will be our y, ny. And if we call this angle here alpha, this one would be alpha 2, because of the trick that we discussed over and over in the channel when we have two angles like this, which each side of them is perpendicular to the other one. These two angles are the same, which is what we have in here. So we have these two and these two, this one perpendicular to this and this one to the other one. So these two angles are the same. So for finding nx and ny, we basically need the sine and cosine in order to resolve it into nx and ny. So our nx in here is the n that we have times sine of alpha. Sine of alpha, if we look at it in here, sine of alpha would be the opposite, which is 16 over hypotenuse 34, and ny would be n times, this time we'll have the adjacent over hypotenuse. So this will be the nx. We need sine of alpha to find this, and this will be ny, and that's going to be the adjacent side, so cosine of alpha. So that's the first force that we found in vector form, our n. So basically, if we factor n, we're going to have 16 over 34i, and they're both positive too, because they're acting along positive x and y axis, and 30 over 34j. So that's our first force. The second force that we have is the weight, and we can tell that the weight is along negative y-axis, so minus 180, since we know the magnitude, and this will be J. And the other two forces that we have, TAC and TAB, we have to go with the unit vector for each of them. So our TAB would be the magnitude of TAB times the unit vector of AB. We can show it either with n or lambda. So TAB times the unit vector would be AB over the magnitude of AB. So TAB times, and now we have to see how we are moving in X, Y, Z direction when we are moving from point A to point B, and this is our A. So if we look at the X axis, we'll see that basically we are moving from here to here along negative X axis, so we have minus 30i. For Y, we are basically moving from here to here, which is 16 plus 8 or 24, and the Z component would be what we have. From here to here, we're going along positive Z-axis, and the distance would be 32, so plus 32k, and the denominator is pretty easy, square root of 30 squared plus 24 squared plus 32 squared. Let's see what we get in the denominator. So basically square root of 30 squared plus 24 squared plus 32 squared, that's going to be 50. So this will be 50. So we have to divide ijk by 50 in each of them. So our TAB in here would be 30 divided by 50. We can divide them both by 2. So minus 15 divided by 25i plus, we do the same thing, 12 over 25j plus 16 over 25k. So that was our third force. So far we found N, we found W, we found TAB. One thing I forgot to put in here, this has to be multiplied by TAB, the magnitude of the force. So this has to be multiplied in each of them. So we need to keep that in mind, and let's move on to TAC. So same thing, this time we have unit vector of AC. So TAC times AC over the magnitude. So TAC times, let's see how we move from A to C. Just gonna clean up the figure and we can see a little bit better. So for AC, let's start with the X. And basically we have the same thing. We are moving in this direction toward X, which is 30, again along negative. So will be minus 30i. For the Y, we are moving from the same level. So we have this 16. This time we have this little distance, 4. So it will be 16 plus 4 or 20. And it is positive since we're going upward. And for the K, this is how we are moving in Z direction. So we are in the opposite direction and the distance is 12. So minus 12k. And we're going to have the square root of 30 squared plus 20 squared plus 12 squared. So let's see what we get for the denominator again. So square root of 30 squared plus 20 squared plus 12 squared. That's going to be 38. So we have 38 in our denominator. So TAC would be TAC times, so minus 30 divided by 38, or we can divide them by 2. So 30 divided by 2 minus 15, 38 divided by 2, 19i plus same thing, 10, 19j minus same thing, 6, 19k. And that's going to be the last force in vector form. So as I mentioned, we are in equilibrium. Sum of all forces equal to 0, which means we can do this for x, we can do this for y, and we can do this for z. So let's start with the x. So we're going to go to each of these and find the x component if they have. Again, keep in mind that we need to multiply this into each of them. So the first one is our n. So same thing, we have 16 over 34. that's our first one, 16 over 34n. W doesn't have any I component, it will be only y. So we have minus 15 over 25 for TAB, so minus 15 over 25 TAB, and also TAC has X component minus 15 over 19 TAC. So that's done too. Will be equal to 0. We have all the three unknowns in this equation, which means we cannot do anything. Let's go to the second one. So n also has y components, so 30 over 34 n, so 30 over 34 n. We have the weight in W, which is 180, and it has a negative sign, minus 180. The second force, TAC, times 10 over 19 plus 10 over 19 TAC. And I forgot TAB, so we have 12 over 25 TAB plus 12 over 25 TAB. So same scenario, this one also we have the three unknowns. Let's move on to the last one. This should be easier because n is already out, w is out, so we are left off with TAB and TAC. 16 over 25 TAB and minus 6 over 19 TAC. And now we have to solve this one. So what we can do in here for solving this, we can find n in here based on TAC and TAB. So our n in here would be basically 34 over 16 times 15 over 25 TAB plus 15 over 19 TAC. So all the signs will be positive since they are on the other side of the equation, and we can put that n in the second equation in here. So we're gonna have 34 over 30 over 34 times n, which is what we have in the previous step. So 34 over 16, 15 over 25 TAB plus 15 over 19 TAC, plus the rest of the equation, which is this part. Now we get one equation based on TAB and TAC in the second one, and we have another one in the third one, and that's going to be easy to solve. We have two equations, two unknowns, and if you do that, the answers that we're going to get is that our TAB will be 31.7 pounds and TAC would be 64.3 pounds. So these are the two unknowns that the question is asking, but we have one more unknown, which is n. And after that, if you just put what you found for TAB and TAC in here, you can find n, which is going to give you 148.4 pounds. And that would be the final answer for this question. Hope everything was clear. This one was a bit long, but very good practice about equilibrium and expressing vectors in 3D questions. And you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.